Lately, there has been a lot of talk about bonding in our state and projects that may be possible through new federal bonding opportunities. I am neither blindly opposed nor blindly supportive of state bonding, but I think we need to take a look at the issue carefully to make sure that we ensure fiscal responsibility and oversight in every process. Bond financing is a type of long-term borrowing that the state uses to raise money for large projects. The state obtains this money by selling bonds to investors. The state is then able to finance major capital projects. Bonds are a common option for these projects because such facilities provide services over many years and their large price tag can be difficult to pay for all at once. The state must repay this money with interest according to a specific schedule. The most important thing to remember is that this is paid for by you, which is why a bond issue must first be submitted to the voters, so you can decide if you want your tax dollars spent in this way. Much of the discussion of bonding lately has focused on the Build America bonds, which are available to states through the Federal Recovery Act that passed Congress earlier this year. This program allows the state to issue bonds, and the federal government pays the state 35% of the interest. Let's look at this program more closely. At any time, Missouri is able to issue, by a vote of the people, Missouri Tax Exempt Bonds. Missouri has a great bond rating, allowing our state to issue these bonds at a 4% interest rate. Federal Build America bonds have a higher interest rate of 5.6%, but 35% of the interest is paid back by the federal government. So how good of a deal are they? If we issue $100 million in Missouri Tax Exempt Bonds over 25 years, taxpayers will have to pay approximately $60 million in interest. If we issue the same amount in Federal Build America bonds, taxpayers would have to pay $83 million in interest. But the federal government will pay 35% of that interest. This would mean the net interest on the Federal Build America bonds would be $54 million. The state would only save $6 million over a 25-year period. We must also consider the fact that by using the Federal Build America bonds, the state is required to issue all of the bonds by January 1, 2011, requiring the state to take out a lump sum immediately. On Missouri Tax Exempt Bonds, there is no issuance requirement, which means that Missouri would not need to start paying interest on the debt until we use all of those funds. In my next video, I will talk more about Missouri's fiscal situation and how additional debt will affect our state. For more information on bonding and the information I talked about today, visit www.senate.mo.gov/Crowell and click on the bonding information link.